And also, let me just say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so nobody's ugly.
I don't know. You sound like your hairdressers were saying niggas is ugly, but hopefully they're not watching this with their partners if they now still with them and y'all see this. I'm sorry for y'all loss and what I have to deal with. That's unfortunate.
No, she said she tells him he's ugly.
Whoa, shit. Oh my
I was dying.
God, dog.
I'll be down for you forever. We gon' always be together. Down for any kind of weather. We going higher than the ceiling. You and me is all I need, yeah. Keep on rocking to the beat, yeah.
I'm Skyla.
I'm Omar.
And this is the Snicks and Snickums Real Talk Podcast.
Well, yep, episode 6, guys. We're almost done. We got 2 more episodes for the season.
This season we're gonna only do 8, but then next season
we'll probably like 10, 12, something like that. Start having some guests, whatever it is. But yeah, that's where we at. What are we doing right now?
Oh, you know what we're doing today? Look at this stuff.
Okay. I don't even know why I asked. So
how many wonders? We're seeing the Little Mermaid.
We're seeing the Little Mermaid today, guys.
First of all, I don't care if I'm not childish. I am so excited.
Yeah, well, you a bit childish. But somebody at work said that I'm taking my kid. My kid wants to go see, or my daughter wants to go see the Little Mermaid. I was like, oh, mine does too. So that's what we're doing as filming. But by the time this airs, I think we're gonna be we might be in Cabo.
Oh,
by the time this airs.
yeah, I think we might be.
I think we'll be in Cabo by the time this airs.
Maybe.
So future us, I hope y'all having a great time. Omar, put on the sunscreen and the aloe vera because you get the bumps on your neck and everything like that. Future Skyla, just
live your best life
and let your back be good, please. But
what do you mean? Oh my,
because you be walking.
I have back issues. That's what he means.
And
yeah.
Okay. I got scoliosis too, and that sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. So let's both make sure our backs.
Yeah, let's do that.
I hope you guys are having a good trip, future us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, today's episode.
All right. Today, we are talking about which one is more important, physical or mental?
Oh, I thought it was emotional.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Look, all right. This is now the Snookum show. She out of here.
I don't know, you guys. I feel a little off today, so stick with me.
She tripping. But this is about the physical version versus emotional connection in your relationship. Like what's more important, what you prescribe to, et cetera, et cetera. Shout out to Ruby for giving us
thank you, Ruby.
the suggestion for this episode. It's funny. We and her were talking and then we got off the phone or whatever. She called me later and the day's like, hey, like I got a topic in case you guys aren't doing this. And I was telling her, I was like, oh shit. I was like, all right, fine, let's go ahead and do that, which we didn't have that plan for the season, but shit, why not?
I like it because this is a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. We got some interesting responses. We got some interesting topics, feelings on it, so we'll get into it. We're going to call this episode, for you Beyonce fans out there, we're going to call it Might Be the Cash Because It Ain't Your Face. All right, we'll go ahead and have that as a topic. Me, I try to come up with my, my topic.
Yeah, I give the titles. The titles have been bomb.
I hope y'all like the titles, by the way.
God. Yeah. See, I told you I'm off today. But no, I'll give them kudos. The titles, the episode names have been fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
let me talk. Let me just say.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And please don't say nothing crazy because this episode will end quick. Just know if this episode is like 4 minutes long, is because we cut this shit. Go ahead.
Okay. So yesterday I was getting my hair done. I go to this new place in Garden Grove. Shout out to Alexis and Plush Beauty.
Oh, by the way, before I interrupt her, do y'all like her hair? Y'all like it? And if y'all notice, I also, by the way, I don't have a hat on today. This is the Snooks and Chrome Don't episode.
Bald head beard gang.
I couldn't find a hat that went with the outfit that I didn't already wear thus far, and I don't want nobody going on me saying, "Boy, how many hats do you own? Is it just the same 4?"
It's okay. I like your bald head.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I like the beard too. The Koreans got
If
me
you
right
didn't have a beard,
episode.
I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy as shit. But go
good
ahead.
Thing. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. We'll talk about that later.
But no, so yesterday I was getting my hair done. And so she has a braider in there too. So we were all talking because we were talking about this podcast and I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about, is it physical or is it emotional or mental emotional? And it was so funny because Ashley is the braider and she was saying it's all about the mental, which I agree with. But she kept talking about how her current boyfriend is ugly.
It was sure she wants you talking about that?
No, I told them I was going to talk about it. She kept saying, she was like, that ugly man. Like, but she meant it. But her whole point was she doesn't care what somebody looks like. She's like, she needs to have that mental connection because sometimes you can have a 10. I don't like using 1 to 10, but you can have a 10 and they're stupid. Or you have a 10 and you have no connection. Or you have a 10 and they don't care about you. You think you're a 10?
I mean, shit.
I be looking good. How I be looking.
Y'all see me, hear me. But go ahead. I'm just saying, just make sure.
No, but it was so funny. And so then Alexis, the girl doing my hair, she was saying, absolutely not. She was like, they need to be attractive. Of course, she wants to have a connection with them, but she could not do an ugly man. Now, if I'm being honest.
How honest? How honest
Snuggles
is she?
over here was not cute.
Like I said, that's the end of the episode, everybody. We hope you had you took something from this. Well, in this. Oh, shit. That's the end of the episode, everybody. We hope y'all had a good one. And we'll see y'all on episode 7. Cause you out your mind.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, I think I talked about it. I think maybe in episode 1 where like Omar wasn't my type. I usually like real strong, dark skin, somebody who can pick me up.
Go ahead, speak your truth.
And he was like this big. I'm gonna put a picture. I'm putting a picture, and I'm putting the picture where he dyed his hair blonde right here. So you guys are gonna see that pop up because so he was this big. But anywho, so it was just funny because just the fact that she was like, no, I don't care if he's ugly. Like she's like, I date ugly guys now because it's about the connection. So respect. And also, let me just say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so nobody's ugly.
I don't know. You sound like your hairdressers were saying niggas is ugly, but hopefully they're not watching this with their partners if they now still with them and y'all see this. I'm sorry for y'all loss and what I have to deal with. That's unfortunate.
No, she said she tells him he's ugly.
Whoa, shit. Oh my
I was dying.
God, dog.
But anywho, no, on a serious note, I think that mental is definitely important. But if I look back at my life, I feel like when I was younger, and if you follow my page, I'm very open about body image issues that I've had. My weight has always gone up and down. I'm very open about how I've needed to feel wanted because, I didn't feel good enough or I needed validation from other people. So I feel like when I was younger, I had a lot of scenarios where like I wanted them to be attractive, not for me, but because I wanted the world to say like, oh, like she got him because she's attractive. Like to me, it was like that meant that I was attractive. I remember, and I talked about this yesterday getting my hair done for prom. I had the worst, I don't want to say the worst prom, but I didn't have a good prom. I went to prom junior year. I did not go again senior year. And I had a best friend back in the day. His name was Chris Martin. And I should have taken him to prom, honestly. And if I'm being honest, I liked him. I think we liked each other, but I don't know. But instead, I took somebody else because I thought that he would look better in pictures. Like, damn. It sounds horrible, but that's how insecure I was. I wanted to make sure, like, for me, the validation was like, oh, I could get this cute guy. So that means that people think I'm attractive. And so back in the day, I mean, I would have never stayed with somebody because they were just attractive. But for me, I definitely put physical ahead of multiple times. I can remember multiple occasions where I just wanted that validation. So that's what I did. So yeah, for me, I definitely, of course, even then, back then I knew that mental connection is stronger. I've always wanted a deep connection with somebody, but because I've struggled with body image and validation and needing other people to think that I'm beautiful, I definitely have been on the spectrum before.
Yeah, me, it's like I didn't have, again, I've had like 2 long-term relationships, one being my ex and the other one being with her, and obviously we're married. But I was more so, for me, it was definitely like the physical. I was like, hey, I'm trying to, do like whoop whoop or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never really thought about like the emotional, the mental connection, everything like that. And when I actually did stop to think about it, which is what led me into my, my first long-term relationship, that ended. And then I was back to doing what I was doing, beforehand, as I've alluded to in a couple of episodes. And then ended up finding her. And for me, if I have to choose what it is, I guess it's a mix, because I don't know if I want to call it emotional or mental. and calling it spiritual seems a bit much, I guess. But you don't think so? You think that's probably a good word for it? Because I knew I wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So I guess spiritual is the right word for it then. So, again, for most of my life, I prescribed to the physical, piece of things. But, as I grew and matured and stuff, and even looking back things on now, we know what is even though some people say there's not a right or wrong or thing, we know what the right thing to do is, and we shouldn't judge somebody based just off their looks. Can't judge a book by its cover. We all know that. And, it's, that's what it was for us, even though I guess it was the spiritual thing is what, attracted me to her and everything like that.
It was like mental, I think it was
maybe. It was probably a mix, yeah. I think for us, really, it was a mix. For what attracted me to her, it was a mix of all of those. But I honestly, if I had to put money on what I thought was and I do this, and I laugh because I was talking to my best friend Ruby, and she said I do this a lot, so I was trying not to do it, but hey, I did it. If I had to put it into segments for her, it was the spiritual part of it because I knew that I wanted to be with her. So
it was like the connection that you couldn't
something
explain,
drew
right?
me to something drew me to her, and that's again I guess I was right because 10 years later, you know what I'm saying? So. I mean, I guess I feel like everybody has their different things. So like you said, some people could be, and not to call you superficial, but, and because again, we all put value in what we put value in, if this is what you like in somebody, it's what you like. You know what I'm saying? We might want to be with somebody strictly because of how they look. Hey, this person's beautiful, gorgeous, looks good in pictures, or I want to have this person on my arm or say like, that's mine. This person just challenges my mind and everything like that, makes me want to be better than who I am and stuff like that. And that's what draws me to them, which I wonder, and I guess some of you can ask yourselves this if you're at home, if you're listening to this with your partner or somebody, does that, what attracts you to your person? Where like, does it challenge yourself? Does this person, what attracts me to this person? It might be, they challenge me like mentally and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, like this person wants to make me be more than who I am. Or is it, a spiritual, thing or whatever, or emotional thing like, this person gets my soul or whatever. This is my person. I need to go through life with this person.
But yeah, I remember when I was at the hair spot, going back to the story that I said in the beginning at the hair spot, Ashley was saying that, it is that connection she's looking for. Like she needs the deeper connection. It's not about the physical. And so even though it's funny, she's saying, oh, my man's ugly, or, I'll date an ugly guy. Her point was that your attraction grows, basically. And I believe that. Like, okay. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Married at First Sight, but there are some couples that aren't attracted to each other and then it grows. And some aren't attracted and it never works. But you don't watch Married at First Sight.
Yeah, I was about to say, which one was that? You don't watch that. We watched Love is Blind
and Ultimatum.
The Ultimatum is wild.
We'll
probably do some clips or something where we talk about those shows. If you haven't watched the Ultimatum on Netflix yet, please
that was a good show.
Watch the first season. Oh boy, and just put yourself, if you're in a relationship, put yourself in that situation, and let us know in the comments what you would have done if you had to be on that show or what you think about it.
But no, her point was just that it can grow. She's not worried about what they look like because she believes that if she has a mental and emotional attraction to them, her physical attraction will grow, and that's clearly for her what's happened in her relationship with her ugly man.
You don't stop calling that man ugly. Something's wrong with y'all.
No, but if I think about my life, so I just want to be clear. I never wanted to just be with somebody for attraction, right? Like I have always wanted, like since I was a kid, I've dreamed of having like a deep relationship with somebody, like really connecting, having like the love of my life. The specific scenarios I'm talking about, like prom, and there was another school dance where this was like middle school where I had this boyfriend, and I was scared that people wouldn't think he was attractive. So I'm just talking about overall thinking too much about other people's opinions. And that was an internal thing. It really had nothing to do with anyone else but me and my relationship with myself. And now that I'm older, I'm healing that, or working on healing that. And I know that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So honestly, I mean, I think my son is very handsome, but even if somebody wasn't, if they met all the needs that I needed, emotionally, spiritually, and then I think physically would grow, I would definitely date them,
Are you trying to dip?
No.
I'm just saying.
Dang, I did it with you.
I'm just, what? What did you say?
I did it with you. He was this big. Remember I told you I like buff.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else, sister.
What?
Yeah,
anyways.
Child together. You can't keep it too real, huh? But go ahead.
But anywho. So yeah, I've also, another thing that I would put into this, sometimes there's this whole lust thing, right? So sometimes people think that they're physically attracted to somebody, or no, sometimes people think they're emotionally attracted to somebody, but it's combined with lust. Yeah. I've had that too.
You're still laughing.
So no, this is another thing. So one of my most toxic relationships, not even a relationship, I had a cycle with somebody that I went to church with, and he was a big part of, me being younger, and a big part of like me growing up and figuring out relationships. And I still think to this day, was it lust? Like I don't know. I don't know, because sometimes you'll be in cycles, you'll think that's your person, but is that your person, or is it filled with other things,
Yeah, I guess for me, it's like, and this isn't me saying I regret my relationship with her or anybody, even just saying that sentence sounds like, hold up, because what are you about to say?
Yeah.
I feel like anybody could potentially, and people correct me, say something in the comments or whatever below if I'm wrong, but I feel like anybody could potentially be with anybody who fits certain criteria. So in our last episode, we talk about like forgiving and forgetting. So let's just say there's someone you're in a relationship, there were things that did not work out. There were things that made you want to end that relationship with a person. What if, and this is what led me to trying with my first long-term relationship, and then again, trying with her, both Aries, by the way, something's wrong with me.
Aries are the best.
Something's
Team
wrong
Aries.
with me. If certain things, situations, issues did not come up, where would you guys be? And I want everyone to like take a second and think about that. You know what I'm saying? Even that night, I was like, hey, there were things I could tell off rip that she would need or want just out of life in general, not even so much a relationship, like I could tell. And she might not have, she says that I tricked her. So I guess I could say that.
So specifically, I think you're talking about, he knew that I was Christian, spiritual,
more emotional,
yeah. And he told me, I remember that night he told me like, oh, I'm Muslim. And I was like, I don't care. I didn't think it was going anywhere. Right. So obviously we're married. So that has been something we had to work through. And we'll do a whole episode on that, because it wasn't easy for me. I know everybody has a different walk in their spirituality. And for us, we've had to do a lot of compromising.
So while my family is Muslim, while I'm Muslim, while I won't eat that swine, brothers and sisters, I don't practice as much as I should or could, if that makes sense. And that's where we struggle with, because I'm not so spiritual when it comes to, things in our relationship. And so while she might say, hey, God did this and, whoop, whoop, whatever, I'll be like, yeah, I just made this happen. And I did this. Obviously, don't get me wrong. It'd be some things that happen. And I do say, it's because of God that did it. Especially since I've been with her. Like, there's some things that should not have happened that ended up happening. You know what I mean? But that's where our struggle has been as far as spiritual. It's not the exact religion that either of us defer to.
Yeah, it's a connection. Yeah, it's a spiritual connection that we work on. Yeah. But yeah, you were saying something when I interrupted you on that. You were saying if we hadn't met.
Oh, but yeah. So along with that, it's sort of like as originally, to bring it back from all that, it's think of you, and not saying to go back to your ex, because I mean they're your ex for a reason. But think back on an ex, and again, if you're with somebody currently, I promise I'm not trying to send her or him to somebody else's arms. I'm just saying, think of the situation that caused you guys not to be together anymore. What was it that led to that? And if that thing would have been fixed, where could things have been? You know what I mean? And so it's like, I feel like the physical, emotional, the mental, the spiritual, all that does like take a role in relationships. It's just, I feel like we just need to take a second to think about what it is that we want. Like she said earlier, was it lust or like, was it love? And, that can like blind you when you don't know really what it is. So, I mean, yeah, like just take a second to think about it. There's more we want to talk about, but I just want to kind of like round out like that point, I guess.
Well,
let the record show.
Let the record show. Y'all know what time it is. So he found, just like in the last episode, Omar actually found the article that I wanted to talk about today, and he did a good job. So this article, this is marriage.com. And so it's basically talking about what's the difference between emotional love and physical love. And so what it says is, that emotional love, there's many faces to emotional love. So, questions. Tell me.
Oh, you about to ask me some questions?
Yeah, I'm about to ask you something.
Oh shit, niggas in a hot seat. What's up?
Do you want to hold me close to you?
Yes.
You took way too long to answer that.
Because I was like, you was gonna bring up an example, and sorry,
Next.
my hip. I got scoliosis, so I gotta adjust my hip.
Do I help take your fears away?
Yes. Some things I internalize.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know that I protect you at all costs?
Yeah.
Facts.
To a fault.
Yes.
Huh.
Do you want to share your life with me?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we already doing that.
Do you love, value, care, and respect me?
Love, value, care. Yes.
Do you respect me? Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
So these are all
What
types
about you?
of, yeah, obviously.
I hope.
But these are all faces of emotional love. You know, all of these deal with a connection deeper than just what we look like. You know, having somebody that you know is going to protect you, or having somebody you know that loves you and values you. Those are the faces of emotional love.
Sounds like the speech at my wedding that Jamil gave.
I'm happy for them, and they're my motivation. To find somebody that really loves you for who you are, not gonna judge you. So I want everybody out here, make sure y'all find somebody that love you for who you are, not gonna judge you. And that's it. All right, now I'm done now. Y'all got it.
Shout out to my brother Jamil.
Yeah, that's a good speech.
Yeah.
And then physical love, of course, it's so they say it this way. Physical attraction is when someone arouses you on a level that is basically biological. So you possess the desire to touch somebody, obviously. You want to hug them all the time. You know, your sex is a biological drive, so you want to, you know, have sex with them. So those are the difference. And I think that both are important in a relationship. Yeah. But to me, you know, if we're thinking about life, right, you want to have a relationship that's valuable. You want to have love in your relationship. Well, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for me, you know.
I mean, I don't know. You probably can't speak for everybody, but can y'all
like what is a relationship without those things?
I'm not saying that everybody need to be like a 9 or 10, you know, et cetera, but if you're with somebody who y'all just don't see eye to eye on anything, one person wants to save money, the other person wants to spend. And I know we say to work things out, but if there are very serious fundamental differences, can that even work? You know what I mean?
Yes and no, I think.
You think? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, to that point, I say we had spirituality. Yeah. So for me, it's way, obviously, we just talked about it. It's bigger. It's a bigger deal for me. That's a fundamental piece of who I am. Yeah. So technically, there's been times in our relationship where we talked about, is this going to work? Because fundamentally, at my core, God is what's gotten me to where I am and who I am. And, you know, being with somebody who doesn't fully understand that has been an issue in our relationship. However, for us, this doesn't always work, right? I could definitely see where this would lead to divorce or somebody not staying with somebody. But for us, we have intentionally worked on this. You know, like the small things lead to the big for us. And so even in therapy, that's why I think therapy is so important. You know, even in therapy, our therapists will help walk us through, like, okay, when you guys went to this gospel concert, what happened? Let's try, like, when you go to church next time, do this and let's see how it goes. Or we'll have conversations about God, or I start playing my gospel music more, you know, those things, and it all builds. And even him seeing how God works in my life, I think has strengthened our spiritual relationship. Because even as he said, he'll be like, oh, wait, no, like, there's no way, you know? So I think fundamentally there's definitely things that will not work. However, I think there's room for it to work depending on what it is. But no, things can be deal breakers for sure. Yeah.
And like, in case anyone's wondering, like, you hear a lot about like her faith and everything. Like, so what is it that she does? Like for me and my faith, again, while if I have to check off the box, I'm picking, you know, Islam, and there's things that I will and won't do, you know, because of that. I don't practice as often as I could or should with things. So I haven't asked her to go like to the mosque with me. I haven't asked her like, you know, to, you know, do one of the 5 prayers, you know, any of those things. Haven't asked her to fast either, because not even just because of religious purposes. I mean, she just hungry Howie the 5th. So asking her to fast ain't about to happen.
I am done.
No, I'm playing. But, you know, so it's, the thing is, I'm not as spiritual. I don't attribute a lot of the things that have happened in my life to a higher power. But that does not mean that there are things that aren't, because again, as we discussed, the things that have definitely are, especially again, since I've been with her, it is ridiculous how many things, I just have to say it again, how many things that have happened that should not have happened. So I just don't want anyone to take from what I'm saying that I'm not spiritual or religious or believe there's not I won't say religious, believe that I'm not spiritual or believe there's a God. And also you can interpret spirituality and whatever, however, want to interpret it. That's not what I'm saying here at all. It's just because her practicing or feelings of spirituality is here and mine's is like here, that's what has caused like conflict for
absolutely.
us, just to be again
absolutely.
precise about that.
And we're talking about emotional versus physical. Spiritual is another aspect of that. There's different types of connections, so people have priority. I mean, spiritual connection is important to me. Like that is top priority, which is why we struggle with it. But like everybody has a different priority. So for somebody, looks may mean nothing at all. If they have 2 out of 3, spiritual and emotional, or maybe for somebody else, they need that physical and they need the emotional, and they don't care about church. They don't care about, they don't care about, praying,
whatever it is.
So
and whatever works for you. This isn't judging or anything.
The
original question I had was like, I wondered like if you have fundamental differences from somebody, how can you make that work? But I think we're good. Now that I think about it, I think we're examples of that. We have some fundamental differences, and we still, we make it happen.
And like even speaking of physical growing, we talked about in episode 2, we had our episode about sex, and in that episode we talked about how like I wasn't very sexual or what didn't have, and he was. So even that, we had to build that too. So. I mean, but there's physical attraction, so I guess that's different. But yeah, I think for the most part, like if we asked people on our Instagram what they thought, I think everybody pretty much had the same answer because, who doesn't want love? Who doesn't want an emotional connection? But let me see. Let me see what they said.
See what y'all was talking about.
And I got to pull it up.
Well,
you go first.
While she's pulling hers up, I'll go over mine. So again, I'm gonna start this one since Ruby, she gave me this topic, so I'm gonna choose her first. You can follow her at Garcia.
This man loves.
I want to give people followers. I ain't just gonna say, this person said. They're like, I don't know who this person is. I'm gonna say who it is. Go follow them. You know what I'm saying? They may or may not be talking about shit.
Okay.
Well, anyway, what is wrong with her? So she said, well, this is interesting. So she didn't choose one or the other. She just mentioned both of them. So for emotional, I guess it matters to her because she said, because I'm sensitive, need my man to have a soft spot. Okay. And then physical, can't date no busted man. Well, there you have it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he's ugly, if he cares about you, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. We'll talk about that later. I'll text you about this. My cousin, you can follow her at Zafria Quinice. She said emotional attraction because it magnifies physical attraction. Physical attraction can fade, which is true.
Yes.
Once you're, we did say black don't crack, but when you're like 75.
And can I just say something real quick? Because I forgot to say this. This is true. We all physical will fade. However, usually when you're in love with somebody, you grow with them and you still love them. And I remember back in the day, because my weight goes up and down, I always used to say I want somebody that loves me no matter what my weight is at the time. Because, that changes your whole look. Right. So, that's part of physical.
Yeah.
Do you like me no matter what? Do you love me no matter
Except
what?
when your hair have you look like a chia pet. Other than that.
You don't like me in my natural state?
I mean, do you like me in my natural state? And I mean, when my hair is... All right, you see what I'm saying? All right, look. This is exactly what I'm saying. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. My man, Sean, you're at Young Chase. He actually... So it's funny, while we have brought up this topic during this, I wasn't planning on really mentioning that too much. It was his comment that made us kind of like adjust, like how we talked about it.
Yeah, I remember.
So he changed the game. The question was about what's more important, physical or emotional. He said spiritual.
Yes.
He said that connection is not as easily swayed like physical or emotional. When I read it, look, I was like, damn.
Hey, you're speaking to your friend because he's finding his way spiritually. Sometimes you gotta give people time. I'm trying to tell y'all.
And she's talking about me finding my way, not him finding his way. Yeah. But I try to make sure she says the right thing. I want nobody like, hey, yo, what's she talking about? I've been at the
I
church,
appreciate
brother.
him clearing up what I say sometimes.
I got to make sure I do that because I don't want nobody hearing this or, whatever.
Protecting me.
Yeah, getting the wrong idea and then say something because then I'm going to be on your ass. Okay. And then did Shanae say something to you? If she did, I won't say hers.
No, she must have answered yours.
All right, sounds good. Hey, birds of a feather, fly, eagles fly. Let's go. You can follow her at _Shanae _. She said physical because I have to be attracted to that first in order to move forward. I mean, hey, I guess.
She's talking about the initial. Like, initially, she needs the physical.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying nothing against it.
No, I know. Because we talked about this at the hair shop, too. We were like, it's the initial. Yeah. Like, the physical gets you first,
if someone
right?
gets an A on the test, you're probably not going to say, oh, I want to be with him just because he got an A. I mean, he might look like Urkel. You hear me?
You never know.
And then my man's Markel. You can follow him at 7EMMZ_. He has a couple of accounts. He also is a musician. He's a rapper. Got a couple songs.
Yes.
If he has a link on this, follow his music. I listen to a couple of joints. He said both. They work hand in hand. And again, they do. I do. Overall, I guess my opinion on everything is it all does go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might not prescribe to one category more than the other, but they all do go hand in hand.
Yeah. So for me, I got mental multiple times. Mm-hmm. Colleen at LGYKAKA.
Don't try to say the names now.
Says
be who
mental,
you are.
exclamation
be
point,
true to
exclamation
yourself.
point. Simone says both. You can be cute, but if you're an idiot, not wasting my time. Period. Well. And then physical intimate things, but mental keeps me there. Okay, I feel that. My girl Julia from Holton, she said mental, physical will leave us all one day as we age. We all change. So true. My twin,
I might be young forever.
No. My twin says mental attraction because I need a connection on a deeper level than just good looks, period.
That sounds like something you would say.
That's my twin. Okay. Aubrey said physical attraction. Well, she said both are important, but mental is more, in my opinion, because when you love somebody for who they are, and then it cut off. But then she said physical attraction can grow.
Yeah.
But if they're just attractive and stupid, no, I can't get past that.
Why y'all want to be calling men stupid? What's wrong with y'all?
I got somebody who just said physical, period. Physical.
Hey.
And I take that as like, I take that as initially, like I got to be physically attracted. Yeah. And then Trini Gal 210.
Who that?
From Holton, from Morgan. You know her.
Oh, what you call?
Yes.
I don't know. I forget her name, but I know what you're talking about. Okay.
She said mental. Yes, both aspects can change with time, but it's important we think together as one unit.
Yeah, a lot more responses than I did, cuz. All right, we just going to leave it there just because I want to make it feel like nobody really responded to mine, but we're going to talk about that, followers.
But it seems like actually the common consensus is both together.
Yeah, everything matters. Yeah. It really can't be, while one might attract you more than the other, I guess it all works hand in hand. Again, y'all can let us know down in the comments below what you agree to, what you prescribe to.
And there's ways to grow both. There's ways to grow. If you find that you're with somebody that you're mentally attracted to and you guys need help physically, there's ways to grow the physical connection. If it's vice versa, there's ways to grow the spiritual or the mental. There's always work that you can do if you truly feel like that person is worth it.
If you want it bad enough, you can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? She could have easily been done with me when she's like, hey, this guy's not Christian. And a couple of years into it, it's not even this, that we're not the same religion. He's not really spiritual. Yeah. She could have been clipped.
It's that part, yeah.
Don't say that part like that.
No, that's the part that we really struggle with.
I just thought she was saying something else. Because she be talking crazy sometimes. Remember the first episode? She said I wasn't her type. Anyway.
But you know what? Just to add one more thing, he's more spiritual than he thinks, actually. So that's the only reason why it worked. But go ahead.
But not the only reason. It is my face.
Y'all heard what I said.
It's not my cash. Well, it is. It's my cash and it's my face.
Y'all heard what I said.
It's all of it. Anyway, obviously if you're with somebody, you're with them because you want to make it work. So again, as she said, there's ways to deal with it. And the comment said there's a way to make these different things grow. You want somebody, you want to be with them, figure it out. You want what you want. If somebody's not meeting your standards and what you need, it's clipped. It's over. Sorry. But my advice, my suggestion, don't end something with somebody just because they might not check a box off. Nobody's perfect. You might not check somebody else's boxes off, but how would you feel if there's like, and they like seafood more than they like red meat, I can't do it. And
it
sounds dumb, but I'm just saying people do have like their specific thing.
Yeah.
Like I seen a video, he said, "Oh, she got the grouper, she didn't get the steak." Oh, nah,
I'm done.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, it's wild, but people do think like that. So
Yeah.
I think, as we always say with stuff, and we said in multiple episodes and alluded to it in multiple episodes, we'll say it in a lot of our posts and stuff like that. We say it in our relationship. I love you, you love me. Let's figure this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now, if I had to give one answer, if we're specifically talking about when you first see someone, I would probably say, if I'm not talking, it's the physical that would have attracted me to them. But then I definitely would also say if I'm talking with somebody and I didn't think they're attractive, but their mind made me attracted to them, that would work too.
Think of it this way. You say you and Nick was talking about me. You hadn't seen me yet. So it could have been something about me that, attracted.
I didn't like you at first.
All right.
Anyway,
point is, it could be my voice. She might not have seen me, but she heard my voice, or might have heard me talking. Might have been, or you might hear someone talking like, "Oh, damn, what are they talking about?" Or you like how that voice sounds, and then you turn to them.
That's true. That's true.
That's not physical. That could be emotional or mental.
Mm-hmm,
so
that's true.
It's multiple things. So
Yeah.
I mean, we just
so the
wrapping at this
consensus
point.
is it's both.
It could be multiple things. It is for you. You like what you like. You want what you want. If you can be with someone who's a 10 out of 10, but can't do 2
but gives
plus
you no
2,
substance, do your
gives you
thing.
no substance, can't do 2
Mm-hmm.
plus 2. I mean, I guess go ahead and enjoy it. Just don't bring them around me because I can't read with my finger around. But you know what I'm saying. And it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, there's not really too much to go into on that one.
I think we've met our consensus on this one.
Yeah, and because at the end of the day, this is really about you and what you want. There's not really too much like advice or things to talk about. You want what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just be mindful, I guess.
Yes.
Or be open-minded, rather.
And just make sure when you find somebody and they need a little work, invest the time.
I don't like how she keeps looking at me.
I'm just kidding, guys. But no, seriously.
Talk about need a little work. And could have this. Y'all didn't see the face she just made. Oh, it's
all right,
clipped.
no, but
It's
thank you guys
clipped.
for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in,
we
guys.
appreciate it. We will catch you.
We gotta have a conversation after this.
We'll catch you on episode 7.
What we're talking about, we don't know. You'll know before we know.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead. Follow us on Instagram at OVOXOmar.
At Skyla Simone.
And then at Snooks and Snookums. And then we're on all the podcast streaming sites. And
then don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
And if you want to tell us in the comments additional topics you want us to talk about, let us know.
Oh yeah, we have things planned, but if y'all want some that we think is interesting, like we did,
we could even plan for season 2.
Or season 2, like we did with this episode and the last one. 2 of our friends gave us topics, just talking to us, and we liked it. Feel free to let us know. Again, by the time you guys watch this, we'll be in Cabo, so maybe you'll see us in that vlog. Yeah, we're gonna be lit, but we'll catch up with y'all.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, guys.